Let's see. We're going live. Okay. Miss Beverly Black.
How are you doing, Keto Granny?
Keto Granny's Way.
She's Wang.
No, Keto Granny's Way. There's a Keto
Keto
Granny.
Granny's way. Oh, we
Yeah.
leave out the way, don't we?
Right.
I'm trying to look to see where I can share it out.
Okay.
I don't see it though.
Let's see. You got the link. Oh, no.
I would have to go out though.
Let's see. How would you share that?
Take me out for a minute and I can go and share the link.
Okay.
And I'll be back, okay?
Okay, great. Okay. You guys, she's going to do that. And while she do that, I am going to give you guys something to look at. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to go while she sets that up. Let's see. Okay. I don't know where it is, but we're getting ready to. Let's see.
How to eat salted caramel ice cream Keto Granny's way with only 4 grams of sugar. Did you know that the American Pediatric Association says the children under 2 should not have more than 24 grams of sugar a day? Therefore, this Sunday will allow them to still have 21 grams of sugar. Until next time, bye.
I'm back, but I still couldn't figure out how to share it.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
You found out how to?
I couldn't figure out. So I'll share it after the live. I guess I can do it
Oh,
then. Yeah, I wanted to do it while it was going on, but
right.
it kept bringing me back to StreamYard. So I said I'll just share it afterwards. So
Okay, let me. There we go.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so girl, how you do that is our topic for today.
I like that.
And yes, because girl, you got some stories to tell. But we're going to start off right here with who is Beverly Black?
Well, Beverly Black is saved, most of all, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a great grandmother, and a content creator here on YouTube. I also have Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. I'm on most of all social media.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, how long have you been on YouTube?
Well, really, I have been on. When you go to my about on my page, it will
Uh-huh.
say 2017. But 2017 was when I really started just looking at other people's videos, and
Mhm.
I didn't start putting out content until 2019. So I have been doing content since 2019.
Okay, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I was introduced to you by Mama Ray Ray's Kitchen.
Right.
And I came into your live and you was doing a 2-ingredient cobbler cake.
Right.
And I am a simple, stupid type person. I like simplicity.
Right.
And that tapped right into me. So tell me about your 2-ingredient cobbler cake. How did you come up with that?
Well, I found that recipe. Um, you know how I have been cooking since a little girl. And about 10 years ago, we had a restaurant for a few years. Open up a restaurant when we retired. What sense does that make? Because it took over everything. But
Right.
anyway, in opening the restaurant and looking for different recipes and things
Mhm.
like that, that's how I come into loving dump cakes. Like you said, easy recipes. So I don't know exactly where I found it at, but I found it doing the search for different recipes.
Okay. Now, let me tell you my story about your 2-ingredient um cobbler cake. Now, I was flabbergasted, number one. Number two, I said, I gotta make that.
Right.
And so I was like, how can I make that keto granny's way? And I
Mm-hmm.
saw where you said you can use diet pop.
Right.
So I found that Duncan Hines has a yellow cake, which is sugar free. And
Mm-hmm.
I used the sugar free squirt. And I used the frozen fruit that
Right.
had the strawberries, the mangoes, the blueberries. And I love apples. So I added apples and took out some of the strawberries. I added
Ooh.
apples, yes. And the Honey Crisp apple, not the Honey Crisp, is part of the Honey Crisp, but it's called Cosmic Crisp apple. I love
Mm-hmm.
those apples. Can't seem to find them now, but anyway,
I
I
guess
cut them up.
I haven't seen those apples.
Yes, the Cosmic Crisp apple.
Okay.
I get them from Kroger. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
if it's somewhere else, but you can go online and get them also.
Okay.
So I cut up the Cosmic Crisp, took out some of the strawberries,
Mhm.
and I made it just like you did, except I added that. And I didn't use I added sugar to mine because I figured maybe the fruit might not make it real sweet. And
Right.
then my cake mix was sugar free. So I was like, well, let me add some sugar to my cobbler cake. So I use Xylo Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Xylosweet is a xylitol. It's a plant-based sweetener. It looks like sugar, acts like sugar, everything like sugar,
Right.
except it's plant-based. So I mixed it up and I did this and I put it in the oven and I got it out and I was like, wow, this is good. So I let Mama Ray Ray try it. And Mama Ray Ray said, oh my God, you got a sweet mouth. I said, yep, I have to have things that's sweet because I was addicted to sugar.
You're
So
right.
things have to be sweet for me. Okay. So
Mhm.
she said, you got a sweet mouth. I said, yes, I do. She said, but it's real sweet. But she said, Raylan liked it though. I said, oh, okay. So I made a sugar-free, diabetic-friendly, heart-healthy version of your two
Wow.
ingredient
Yes.
cobbler cake.
That
Yes.
sounds good. You have that up on your channel? Do you have
Um, I I believe I do. I'm not sure because I have a lot of content that I have not uploaded.
Oh,
And
okay.
by you being new, I don't know if I uploaded that yet, but I did make a reel. I made a
Okay.
reel with it.
Uh-huh.
Um, I might have put it on an upload for my channel, but I'm not sure.
But
So,
when you get the time, you don't have to
okay,
rush, but when you get the time, send me the link so I can share it on my community board.
okay, I sure will.
Mhm.
Because my whole thing is with food content creators is to look at their recipes and show people that don't nobody have to know that
Yeah,
you've changed your lifestyle of eating if you don't tell them.
that's right. That's right. And
So
that's very helpful.
if I
Mhm.
use people recipes that they know and they've tried their food, if you could make a version of it that will work toward those that suffer from dietary caused diseases, illnesses like type 2 diabetes, kidney
Right.
disease, heart, they will be able to enjoy your recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Keto
So
Granny's way.
true. And I've had people ask me, do I have a diabetic version of a different recipes that I have put up, but I didn't. And see, now with you doing that, I can link you into with my recipes when you make something, and that will give them a version of how they can eat it, with diabetes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was further looking at your channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed that you had made or was making a, what was this recipe? It wasn't a chest pie. Oh, spoon bread.
Spoon bread, spoon bread.
Yes.
Yes,
I had never
yes.
heard of spoon bread. Never
Spoon
heard
bread
of it.
is good. It's good.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So I was like, I gotta make that.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that I followed your recipe. But the thing that I changed in that recipe was the time, because I never made it before, so I didn't know the texture of it or whatnot. So when I
Right.
at 35 minutes, when I shook it, it was kind of jelly like that. I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll put it on for 15 more minutes. So I did that, and when I took it out, it gave me the consistency of like hot water cornbread. I
Right.
tasted it and I was like, oh, that's a new way to make hot water cornbread. But I
Uh,
did see a little bit how the custard, the custard kind of texture on the
right.
top of it. So
Mm-hmm.
then I said, well, gee, go and do it the way Beverly Black did it. So I did it the way you did. I left it in there for 35 minutes on 375. And it came out, and I trust and believe I used my cast iron skillet. I love cast
Right.
iron. And so I put it in, took it out, and it was beautiful. And I scooped it out because you said it's best eat hot. Yes, it
Right.
is. So I
Mm-hmm.
took it out and I really saw how that texture was. And I was like, wow, this is really something. So I was like, a lot of people that does keto or low carb or whatnot are afraid of bread.
Right. Yes.
But cornmeal
Mm-hmm.
is actually the corn that the meal is made out of is actually a fiber filled product.
That's
So
right.
you're not going to eat the whole pan.
Mm-mm.
And if you eat it with some greens like I did, I made some greens.
Woo! Yes.
Oh, I made some greens, and I had some pigtails. So I had pigtails, I had the greens, and I had the spoon bread. Oh my
Woo!
God.
That's good.
That burning meal right there, you can
Woo!
enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
spoon bread without worrying about it spiking your insulin or anything like that, because it's how you eat it. And that was excellent. I
That is
love
so.
spoon bread. That is a part of my recipes now, part of my
And that's a
menu.
spoon bread is a very, very old recipe.
Okay. And
It
you said
is.
that it was back in the colonial
In
days,
the
or
colonial days, yeah. Spoon bread is really known in Kentucky. They have a festival, a spoon bread festival. Well, they have one also in Chattanooga, I believe, a spoon bread festival. And Virginia, they were known for the spoon bread, but it was very, very popular. And when you're traveling in Virginia, some of the older colonial like areas, when you go to restaurants there, where they serve, bring out all the food and bowls and stuff and serve it. They bring out spoon bread. And
wow,
in my research for it, when I was, reading up on it, it was a lady. She said she goes to Virginia every year to this restaurant just to get this spoon bread that they put honey on top of, and they bring it out piping hot. And she was talking about how good it was. And she said
wow,
she had never had the recipe until she seen my video. And she said the mine tastes more like the spoon bread in Virginia.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
wow. That is awesome. That right there is a awesome recipe. And you also
Yes.
said that you could serve it how?
You can serve it how?
Uh-huh. How did you say
Oh,
you can?
you can serve it with butter on top, preserve. You can put fruit on it, honey. When I was little, we had it with molasses on it
Oh,
because it was like a dessert for us.
oh,
It was a
really?
dessert. So mama would put a little bit of molasses and butter on top of it. Oh, you can tell me nothing. It was so good. But
Wow.
molasses tastes different than when I was little. It had a
Okay.
better taste to it than the molasses they make now.
Is it like algae syrup? I love algae. That
Yeah, it's
it's
dark. It's a dark brown. Molasses
mhm.
is a dark like that and Karo syrup mix, but it still got another little flavor to it that's different. Because honey, in the morning, mama made those big cat head biscuits, and you get that and some butter and pour some molasses on
Oh
top
my.
of it.
Oh
That was
my.
good eating.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That
fry some
sounds
hog
fabulous.
jowls to go with it.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Oh yes, that's some
old
good
school.
eating right there.
Uh-huh.
That's some good eating.
Yes.
Now, another recipe that I was scrolling through your
Uh-huh.
channel, and when I was down south, I had the pleasure of being invited over to someone's house for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And they had this dessert that was called chess pie.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, chess pie? I never heard of that before.
Uh-huh.
So she said it was like a custardy kind of pie, you know, and
Right.
it was made with cornmeal and eggs and milk. And I was like, cornmeal
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
pie? So of course, me being adventuresome, and I tried just about anything once. Just about anything. I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
I came back up to Detroit in 98. I was down there from 95 to no, 95 to 97.
Okay.
And nobody up here, I hadn't seen it. Nobody
Really?
served it. So when I was looking at your channel, I
Mm-hmm.
noticed you had a chess pie on there. I
Right.
hurried up to it and I said, let me look at the ingredients for this. I said, I'm going to make that. And so I made it and I was like, oh my God. But what I did different was I used Xylosweet. I made it
Right.
sugar free
Mm-hmm.
and I made a homemade crust because I don't like pie crust. For some reason,
Oh, okay.
it don't be right to me. I eat the filling out of it. But I
Oh,
made a yes, I eat the because it's either underdone to me or yeah, underdone.
right.
So I don't usually eat the pie crust. So I made my pie crust and it was very flaky and everything. And I ate it. I was
Right.
like, wow, this is good. It was too sweet though. So what I did was I always experiment on my church family and my family,
Right.
right? They don't keto or sugar free.
Church family love to eat your cooking.
But they're not sugar free or anything like that. So I
Yeah.
always experiment on them. I don't let them know until they inquire. But anyway,
Right.
I let them try it. And a couple of responses was, wow, this is real sweet. And then one lady, she had knew about the chest pie. She said she hadn't had it in a long time. And she said, can I get a piece of that, so I could taste it before I go? And I said, sure.
Uh-huh.
She said, this is so good. I said, and it's sugar free. She said, no. I said, yes, it's sugar free.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh my goodness. She said, so she took our piece and didn't nobody know that it was a sugar free chest pie.
That
No,
is
and that
good.
pie disappeared because I had made two. Ain't no one in the
Wow.
world I could eat both of them because it was real rich to me. So I
Yes.
could only eat little pieces of it, right? But I was like, oh my God, I got a chest pie recipe.
Yes. Now,
Never be black.
when I was young, mom and daddy daddy mostly, he bought all the groceries, but he would get flour, in them old sack bags. It was like 50 pounds of flour and 50 pounds of cornmeal. And they would make so many different meals out of cornmeal. And I guess I don't know if it's a southern thing or what, but when you the different ways they could make cornmeal is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Have you
Yes, it
ever
is.
had tomato pie or tomato dumplings?
No.
Oh, honey,
Don't tell
they
me you got another recipe out there. Tomato,
now
tomato
I
dumplings.
have one up about the tomato pie, but it has corn in it. But when I was growing up, Mama never put corn in it. She never. She
Uh-huh.
just she made it. She stewed the tomatoes and put the sugar and the vanilla and all that in it, and she would drop dumplings in it, like chicken and dumplings. She would drop
Uh-huh.
those dumplings in it like that. Oh,
Oh,
that
okay.
was good. That was good.
So where did tomato come in at?
The tomato, you stew the tomatoes. You
You
stew.
stew 'em?
She would, she would get tomatoes out of the garden, and
Okay.
see, they always have a abundance of tomatoes. So she had to
Mm-hmm.
figure out different ways to cook those tomatoes. So they had so many tomatoes. She would stew up a pot of tomatoes. Then she would add the sugar and sweeten it up, and her flavorings and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
she would do drop dumplings in it. She would make dumplings and drop them in the tomato stew, and that's what they call tomato dumplings. But
Oh,
you could also make a pie shell and pour it over in the pie shell, and it was tomato pie.
wow. Okay, so
Mhm.
see, I'm gonna have to try that too. So now I heard, girl, how you do this? You don't have a birth certificate.
No, I don't.
Tell
Don't
me
have a.
that story.
Never have had a birth certificate, and I'm 71 years old. Never have had one. When I got married, I didn't have to have a birth certificate when I got married to get married. They just took you at your word. I got married in May. I was 17 and I turned 18 in
17.
August.
Okay.
So when I got married, we came to Tennessee. I didn't have a driver's license then, but when I was here the first couple of years, within the first couple of years, my husband's cousin taught me how to drive in a Volkswagen. So when I went to
Wow.
get my driver's license, all I had to take, because I did not have a birth certificate, they needed a what is it, official paper with my name and birthday on it, and I took our insurance papers.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right. When I was in school in North Carolina, when I was younger, it was a small community, a small area, Weldon, North Carolina, and everybody knew everybody. So everybody in town knew my father. So when I went to school, he just did my paperwork. They said that's Mr. Carr's daughter, and that was it. It wasn't no problem.
Wow.
But how I came about to being with Alan Carr and Ressie Carr was, my father was a night watchman, and basically, in the day's terms, it's just a security guard for a
Okay.
lumber company. At night was Turner's Lumber Company.
Uh-huh.
And Daddy used to walk back and forth to work, and as on his route to work, it was a little river there that he walked by that he used to fish at all the time.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was this morning, he was on his way home, and my mother was there with me and my brother. My brother is
Hey.
1 year younger than I. She was getting
Mhm.
ready to throw me in the river.
Oh my God.
And when Daddy came by, he seen what she was doing, and he proceeded and asked her. He said, "Can I have the baby?" He said, "Will you give
Mhm.
me the baby?" She just gave him to him. She just
Wow.
gave me to him.
Uh-huh.
She was gonna keep my brother. She wanted the male child, but she was going to throw me away. But she was only 17 or 18 years old. She
Uh-huh.
ran away from home with my father,
Oh.
who was married to her best friend.
Oh.
Honey, it's drama. He was a minister. He started preaching when
Oh.
he was 16. He left his wife, ran off with my mother, went to Baltimore, had two kids, and I guess things didn't well, they didn't work out. So he went back home to his wife, left my mother in Baltimore with two kids, no education, no job to take care of. So that's how she ended back up in North Carolina at the where she was getting ready to throw me in the river, basically. She was getting ready to throw me in the river. Now, I met my biological father before he died. I met him. And he said my birthday is August 15th, 1952. And I was born in Baltimore, Maryland at Johns Hopkins Hospital. I have my brother's birth certificate. He was born at Johns Hopkins. All of his uh, stuff lined up. But when I go to find my birth certificate, you cannot find it. I've tried North Carolina, Washington, Virginia, and Baltimore. Neither states have any record of my birth.
Oh my
And my
goodness.
husband and I have searched and searched. One day he told me, he said, it was on a Sunday. See, my husband retired from Delta Airlines. He was a ticket agent. He worked at Delta for 36 years.
Okay.
So we fly free.
Hmm?
To that Sunday, he said, tomorrow morning we're gonna get up early and we're gonna fly to Baltimore. I'm gonna rent a car and we're going to Johns Hopkins and we're gonna find your birth certificate. We proceeded and did that. Went to Johns Hopkins. When we got there, they said we had to go down in the basement to the archives. The lady was searching, trying to find my birth certificate. Why was the whole year of 1952 missing? The whole year of 1952 was missing. So I couldn't find my birth certificate there. I have searched, been looking for my mother. It looked like she just dropped off the face of the earth. Even before my biological father died, he sent, he tried to get my birth certificate and sent the same information. Came back nothing. And then when I was going to get my Social Security, they said, I've had my school records for years, never looked at it. I just put it away. So since I didn't have a birth certificate, they told me to bring my school records. They need something to show my birthday on it. So they wanted my school records. Didn't look at them. I just went to the Social Security office. The young lady that was going over, she said, well, you will get a year's back pay. I said, a year's back pay for what? She said, because you were eligible for Social Security last year. I said, last year? She said, yeah, you were born in 51. I said, no, I was born in 1952. She said, right here on your school record says August 15, 1951. So I had to change all my legal records to 1951. So my husband teases me all the time. And he told me this even before I went to Social Security. He said, you don't know how old you are.
Wow.
We don't know what year you were born. He said, were you really born? You know, he was just playing with me. But
Right.
we put a lot of time and effort into searching for my birth certificate and my biological mother. So if anybody out here know Mary, her maiden name was Mary Frances Matthews from Weldon, North Carolina. She was born, oh Lord, February the 22nd, 1936. So if anybody, I have my mother's birth certificate, I have my biological mother's school records, and can't get my own birth certificate. In my search, I have collected all that.
What's her name?
Mary Frances Matthews was her maiden name, from Weldon, North Carolina.
Mary Frances
Matthews. With an S, Matthews. I met her sister, her father, my grandfather. My husband used to take me back and forth to North Carolina to see him. He owned a taxi cab company there. And every time I would go home to see my father, he would always come by to see me. I knew him, but my mother, I found out my mother ran away from home when she was 13. So her biological sister, who is Hazel, who is deceased now, said that she hadn't seen Mary Frances since she was 13. And said when she left home that she never got in contact with nobody after that. They didn't know where she went. She said,
Wow.
I heard that she had a little girl. So she said, I guess you're the little girl.
Wow. So do
Yeah.
you have any pictures of her?
I had one picture that my aunt sent me of my mother. And I'm gonna tell this. I'm not being prejudiced or nothing, but now I understand. Growing up, light-skinned black people, and I was around, all my friends were light-skinned, but it was something about light-skinned black people, it I was uneasy about. So when my aunt said she had one picture of my mother and she said, I'm going to send it to you, and this is the only picture I have. Why was my mother light-skinned? She was lighter than she was, which, well, we as black people call yellow. She was
Okay.
yellow. And
Mhm.
it threw me for a loop, because I said, now I see why all those years I couldn't figure out what, light skinned. I mean, they didn't, I mean, I didn't have any problems with them, but I always felt it was something, you know what I'm trying to say, was something
Yeah.
there. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know what it was, but I was uncomfortable. But when I seen her picture, I knew what it was. My mother was very, very light skinned with long, thick hair, very
Oh,
long, thick hair. She was beautiful. She was beautiful. But what I had in mind that my mother would look like was nothing what her picture looked like. So I was still looking for her. And I think I had that picture for a couple of years, and I hit a wall. I hit a wall. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find her. And I had forgotten that I got my Social Security card in Virginia when I was in Virginia.
yeah.
And, because the first three numbers of your Social Security card will tell what state you got it in.
Oh, do it?
And
I didn't even know
yes,
that.
your first three numbers. And mine is 227. And North Carolina was different. I said, well, why do I have 227? When I looked it up, you can look up the numbers and it tell you what state it goes to. It said Virginia. It threw me for a loop. I forgot that I lived there well, that's where I met my husband. But I was just going through so much at the time, it just knocked me down. And I got so upset, I tore up the picture of my mother.
Oh
I
my.
tore it up. And that was the only picture of her. And I
Oh,
tore it up. I
wow.
regret that. I regret that 1,000 times. But I did it. I was upset and angry. And I guess I called myself launching out at her, and I tore the picture up.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is something. That is an incredible story because nowadays you got to show, in order to
Every
get my driver's license, I had to have 5 pieces of mail because I
uh-huh.
lost the license. I lost my license. So I had to have 5 pieces of mail that was coming to my house. And I had to have 2 other pieces of information proving who I was, right?
Right.
And here you are back then. Could just say I'm such and such a. Your time has really changed. It has
But
really changed.
but that's God. See, God was
Yes.
always working in the background. He
Mm-hmm.
always ordered my step, and he prepared my way for me. I didn't realize then that was God, but now I know it was God, because like
Mm-hmm.
you just said, what you had to have in order to, what you needed for legal stuff. I didn't need that kind of stuff. Everywhere I went, I never had a problem when it comes to
Right.
legal. Nowadays, that little star we have to have on our driver's license,
Yes.
I can't get it because I don't have a birth certificate. They won't take an amended birth certificate because I can get an amended one for the birthday I celebrated, but
Mm-hmm.
they won't take that. It was somewhere, I forgot what she told me I had to get from. So I got upset behind that. I said, this is not making no sense. I've had
Right.
my driver's license for over 40 years, and why can't you just put the little star on there? So I don't
Right.
have the little star on my driver's license.
So what did that star stop you from doing?
Well, that star is good for when you're traveling, when you in the airport. It I think It may be this month. They gave us a deadline that everybody had to have the store on their driver's license. Um, it's something with the government. It's legal, and it'll be easier for you traveling overseas. They said it'll help in some instances, I can't even say it, with your pass rather than having your passport, like you having that star on your driver's license.
So can you get a passport?
No, I don't have no birth certificate.
Girl,
I can't even take a cruise, and my husband wants to go on a cruise, and I can't take one because I don't have a birth certificate.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. That's
And
a sad.
when we were younger, when my kids were young, at home, we traveled in the United States, but we traveled. We took our kids everywhere because like I said, we were blessed. My husband worked for Delta, so we didn't have to pay for airline tickets.
Wow.
So we traveled a lot. We
Mhm.
traveled. We did a lot of traveling.
Wow. Okay, you mentioned two things: your husband and your children. How many children you have?
I have 2 daughters, 5 grandchildren, and 1 great grandson. I have 2 granddaughters and 3 grandsons.
Okay, you
Beautiful.
said you have a great. You said you have a
I have
a
1
great
great son. Blaze. He's 1 year old.
Okay. Now we get to the juicy part. 17, married.
Yep.
That husband. And I happened to see a picture of you and him at church. I saw that picture. I said, "Oh, she got a nice looking husband."
Yeah, he's a deacon at our church.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now have been married 50 years.
52.
52 years.
May the 30th.
Girl, how you do that?
God, nobody but God, because we had our ups and downs like anybody does, and I was 17. We met in February, near the end of February, and we got married in May.
Wow.
I wasn't March we met. Look, I don't forget now. But it was short. It was 2 months. It was March. And got married May 30th. He was getting out. He had came back from Vietnam. He was in the Army. And he was getting out of the Army in that August. And we got married in May. He bought my wedding dress. He paid for the wedding. He paid for the reception. He paid for everything.
Wow. Where did you guys meet?
We met in Hampton, Virginia, because he was at Fort Monroe. I was babysitting a colonel's children on the base, and I would ride the bus there. So I would be sitting at the bus stop, and he was driving a truck for the Army. He was in the Army, and he would come by, when I was there, and he was always speaking and hollering. You know how you ignore. He said, "You think you're too cute to speak, don't you?" And finally, I spoke, and he asked me out. The rest is history.
Wow.
Yep.
That is something. Okay, we are going to take a fat burning keto hack tip break.
Okay.
And you gather yourself and get together your why you became a YouTube influencer. Okay. And we'll be right back.
Okay.
Are you ready for your why?
Yes. You know what? I just looked down and you've been hearing me all right, haven't you? Because it
Yes,
looked like my mic was off. Maybe it was just doing the commercial break. I pray
right,
that's what it was. Okay.
right. That's
Okay.
what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
that's your
Okay.
why. Why you became a YouTube influencer?
Okay. A couple of years ago, I love to decorate. I love to watch videos about decoration, decorating your house. And that's why it has 2017 on my about page. So I was looking at videos, about houses and stuff like that and decorating. And then I started getting into the food and all that. And my oldest granddaughter, Mia, I love flowers. I started out as flower glamorous. I
Okay.
love flowers. And Mia told me, she said, Nana, you need to make some videos of my flowers because people are always telling me how pretty my flowers is. They like to come by and look at them. In the back, we have a pond and that my husband made, and we have flowers all around it and decorate it. So I try to do the outside like I do my inside. So I started out doing my flowers and I was getting views, but they weren't nothing high, maybe a couple of hundred or something like that, just ordinary as you start now. But
Mhm.
I love flowers. And I didn't want to do cooking because I have cooked for most of my life.
Okay.
So I didn't want to do any cooking. But one day I made a cake and I put it on, and the views just went up. I
What
mean,
kind
the
of cake
views.
was it?
I don't. It was a pound cake, but I don't remember which one it was now. But anyway, Mia kept telling me. She said, "Nana, you can do this. Go ahead and you can do it. You can do it." So I went on, and then when I seen the views were so high with that, I tried doing other cooking things. Like I think I put my macaroni and cheese up and some other recipes, and I seen that people were enjoying my cooking. And when I did the videos, they were mostly slides about the flowers and stuff. And I wasn't talking. And my friends around here were telling me, we need to see your face. We need to hear you talk. For some reason, people like to hear me talk. I don't know why.
I understand why.
I'm just an old Southern girl with this Southern accent, but they love to hear me talk. They said it's soothing, it's calming to them, but to God be the glory. But anyway, I um I started coming on the videos, and they could see me, and my views just started increasing and increasing, and I went on to doing lives, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
Okay. Now, Miss Beverly Black, you have a recipe that has over what 400,000 views.
I have one that has 560,000 and another one that has 450,000. It's two different cake. One is dump cake and the other one is a pineapple cake. Mm-hmm.
Okay, both of them are dump cakes.
No, the lemon cheesecake, not cheesecake, lemon cream cheese is a dump cake. The other one, it's like a sheet cake, but it's pineapple. And I got
Oh,
the recipe from Paula Dean. I got it from Paula
mm.
Dean, and
I
in
love
that
Paula
recipe,
Deen.
yes, I do too. I I tell in the title I say I get from Paula Dean, and in the description I let everybody know it's from Paula Dean. But the Lord has allowed me that recipe. Paula Dean, I have more views on
Wow,
my video than Paula Dean has on hers. Just
wow,
look at God. Just look at God. Yes.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is that is excellent. That is that is excellent. Now you also have grown your audience to a plus 27K.
29,000.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, I'm a new content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to me to grow my channel organically?
Be consistent. That's the main thing. To be consistent. You're gonna have your highs and your lows, and sometimes you're gonna have more lows than highs. And then when you're going through those lows, don't give up. Don't give up. Your breakthrough is on the way. It's coming. Don't give up. Just keep on going. No matter, don't pay those views any attention for a while. You just keep going until you can build it up. But be consistent. Be your real self, because people know when you're
Yes.
trying to fool them.
Yes, they do.
They know that. They know that. So
Yes.
be your real self. Be authentic. Be who you are, and it will come. And putting up your videos, put up videos 2 to 3 times a week. I try to do 3 times a week.
Okay.
I put up videos 3 times a week, and I go live 2 times a week. So that's 5 times a week. I have content coming forth to my family. And now I've started on Sunday on my church service. I'm doing it live. People
Okay.
are they're loving it. They're even sending me messages. Are you going to record your church service on Sunday? I have really enjoyed it. And this will be like maybe my 4th or 5th one I have recorded. And they are like, I mean, it may not be a lot of views to some people, but to me, for a church service, it is, because
Right.
so many people are out there. I'm getting 300 and 400 views. The Lord has blessed me to get 300 and 400 views on
Wow.
our church service. And my church, it has a YouTube channel. They record the service also,
Okay.
and they get like 40 and 70 views. But
Okay.
what's going on with my church? They have the speakers. You can't hear the audience. You don't hear the audience.
Okay.
You hear the praise team and the ministers as they come up, but you
Okay.
don't hear anything going on in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to find my family, my YouTube family, and people in my community, they love hearing the feedback. They like hearing the amens and the
Oh,
clapping,
okay.
and
Yeah.
people responding to the pastor and to the choirs.
Right,
You
right.
can't hear that where they record from the church,
Uh-huh.
but in my recording you can hear all of that, and
Right.
they
Okay.
like that.
Then you feel like you're
Yeah.
participating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, since we're talking about church and
Mm-hmm.
God, I love the fact that you include God in your videos. You have a inspirational day every day, a motivational clip that you post for
Mm-hmm.
each day of the week.
Right. On my community board.
And you have um in your videos, you have a devotion
Mm-hmm.
and a scripture.
Yeah, when I go live. Yeah.
Yes, when you go live. And so how do your audience respond to you having God in your content?
Well, the people who come to my live, I go live on Tuesdays and Thursday at 1 p.m. And on Tuesday, we're chit-chatting. On Thursday, we're chatting, but I always cook something, while the live is going on. But for my YouTube family, they love it. They love it. It's growing. More people come each week. And after the live, when it's put up on YouTube, the views of it is in one of my videos. I've got over 3,000 views from a live on one of them.
Wow.
It's nothing for me to get 500 to 800 views after the live is over when I put it back up. And see,
From
I
on
know that's
replay?
God
The
has put his hand on that. I know that he has approved it for me to get the type of views that he has blessed me to receive. But that day that I think it was 3,300 views, and I say 70% of those views came after I put the live up, after it was over with. And it's on
Wow.
my channel. It's on my channel. 3,000 views on
Isn't
my live. Yeah.
wow. That's
Mhm.
something. Okay. Now I'm all about. I let you know that my
Uh-huh.
desserts and meals that I make are diabetic friendly, heart healthy, and fat
Uh-huh.
burning, and that I go into a lot of food channel influencers to get recipes that I can recreate to show people that you can eat food that look good, taste good, you love, and you ain't
Right.
lost no flavor, and you can eat as much as you want and lose fat.
Right.
Now, I've been obese all my life, and my biggest it was 405.
Wow.
I never knew what I looked like slim because I've always been fat.
Right.
Now, I married a man who has suffered from type 2 diabetes for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
He did not take very good care of himself. I did not know about diabetes outside of they called it sugar. You're not
Right.
supposed to eat sugar, and
Right.
that you take insulin. That was
Right.
my knowledge about diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 16 months that my husband and I courted, he had no high lows. He was managing it. I'm thinking because we never had
Right.
no hospital visits or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But the next month after we got married, no, the night that we got married, I had to call the emergency because I had to call the ambulance because he
Uh-huh.
was cramping up and he was sweating and he was,
Yeah.
he was talking about his stomach and then he kept running to the bathroom. And so, I got concerned and I said, "You want me to call the ambulance?" He was like, "No, no, I just need my insulin." So I was like, "So where's your insulin?" He had left the bag with his insulin at the reception hall.
Oh no.
So I'm still asking him, so what do you want me to do? He said,
Uh-huh.
just don't call nobody yet. And I'm watching him go through this, right? So I'm not easy. So I told him, I said, about three, if you're not better about three, I'm calling the ambulance.
Right.
But he was not. I called 911. They got there. They did they pricked his finger to see what his sugar was. It was off the scale.
Oh
They
my.
rushed him to the hospital. This was our this was the night we got married.
Married. Oh gosh.
And so he was in the hospital with ketoacidosis.
What is that?
Ketoacidosis is when the blood has a high acidity.
Uh-huh.
Ketones in it is like over 7. And the
Oh,
body, what it is, the body is absent insulin. You cannot live without insulin.
that's right. That's
You
right.
have to have insulin.
Yeah.
No matter how much you eat, you
Yep.
have to
They have
have
insulin.
insulin in your body. So he goes to the hospital, and from that day on, we've had that whole year. He was in the hospital. He had amputations, and finally, he was hooked on nicotine, caffeine,
Uh-huh.
baked goods. He loved banana nut bread, muffins,
Right.
and he did not check his blood sugar.
Right.
He went by how he felt, and again, I'm dumb to,
Mm-hmm.
how you even know about, diabetes. So I'm like, okay. So I started getting concerned about him, and I was like, why don't you take your insulin, medicine with you, because you're going to eat them cookies and drink that pop and
Right.
whatever. And he would get so upset because he was like, "You trying to tell me what to do?" And I'm like, "I just don't want to see you in the hospital no more," because I was at the hospital a lot. He
He
lost
didn't
both
take
his toes.
insulin certain times every day.
Pardon me?
He didn't take his insulin certain times every day.
Nope. He said his doctor told him to take it in the morning and
Uh-huh.
take it before he go to bed at night. So when he was having so many bouts in the hospital, his insurance had him to get a nurse to come out. The nurse told him, only take your insulin if you before you, let's see, he said, only take your insulin if you've eaten or if you're going to eat. Only if you've eaten, he said. And
What?
so my husband just eat every day. He would get up and just take the insulin, and he
Yeah.
hadn't eaten. So I was like, okay, so now he didn't lost um a toe. He didn't he lost two toes, his great toes, his big toes. He lost
Wow.
them. He and then he had a situation on top of his foot where he was trying to manage it. Now diabetics have to be mindful of any kind of scar cuts or anything that
Right.
they have.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
let this thing on top of his foot get so bad it was stinking in the room. So when I finally looked
Oh,
at what he was doing, he was putting alcohol on it.
oh my
Now
God.
he basically almost had a hole on the top of his foot.
Oh.
So we get to the hospital and the doctors do the x-ray and whatever and stuff and they're like, you can lose your foot. I'm sitting there like, what? So the doctors was telling him then, you have to watch your diet. You have to
Right.
watch what you're eating. So because I started educating myself about diabetes and whatnot, and because I had started keto, I was 3 months in. I had gave up the sugar and the white and this and that and whatever and stuff. And so he like banana nut bread. So I
Mm-hmm.
started making sugar-free banana nut bread for him. But when I
Right.
saw he want to eat mine and his stuff too, we cut that out real quick because he was
Yeah.
determined to do what he was going to do. It was not going to benefit him. So it had got so bad that I did not know what I was going to come home to because he didn't fell out. He'd rather have he amputated got his toe amputated instead
Oh.
of being on a pick line with a very high dose of antibiotics. He went through
Mm-hmm.
that for 9 weeks. He'd rather have his baby toe amputated and take
Mm.
medicine for 7 to 10 days
Wow.
instead of going through what he went through before with they had to take another bone out his great toe side of his foot because he had a bone infection. And so they had to take out another part of that bone. So, it just was amazing me. So moving on anyway, his story. This is why I am an advocate of obesity and diabetes because
Mm-hmm.
my health and the ones that I love, I'm watching them slowly, die by the
Right.
twisted.
Mm-hmm.
So it got so bad to where I did not even know what I was gonna come home to because he didn't fell out before. We called the
Mm-hmm.
ambulance because he was breathing like a fish in the bedroom. They rushed him out then, and so I came home one day from church, and I found him dead.
Oh
And
my.
yeah, I found him dead. And I asked the fire department or the man who was in
Yeah.
charge. I said, how long was he down? He said he was down since about 8 o'clock in the morning. I came home at 8 o'clock in the evening.
What? Oh
So
my.
from that day on, I was not going to let nobody under the sound of my voice with my knowledge die prematurely from diabetes. I was
I
not going to let it
understand.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I started investigating. I started, accumulating all kind of information about diabetes and what's
Right.
the cause, what's the prevention. And when I found out that 95% of people who have diabetes is type 2, it is
Mm-hmm.
diet related.
Right.
So
Right.
I bring that up to you because you said your husband
Mm-hmm.
is type 2 diabetic.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
He
how
is.
did he come about being type 2 diabetic?
He got Agent Orange in Vietnam, and Agent Orange is the insecticide that they were spraying in Vietnam. And a lot of the veterans who went to Vietnam and the surrounding areas were contaminated with that Agent Orange. And it affects a lot of different parts in their body, a lot of, they have a lot of health issues. And my husband was one of them. But he goes Jimmy goes to the doctor about every other week, one doctor or another, and they keep a good watch of him, which is good. And I don't have to tell him to go to the doctor. He goes to the doctor. He
That's
goes to
good.
see about
That's
himself.
good.
He's one of those people. When he has
Mhm.
an appointment, he don't miss his appointments, even with the VA. And the VA has been good to him, has taken good care of him, and most of all, God and has brought him through. Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Agent Orange, that insecticide, it it messed with the nerve system of the body or something. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, it
Okay.
can. And a
Okay.
lot
Now,
of them get
okay.
PTSD from it, and he has PTSD also. So he has heart problems. He has neuropathy in both legs. Uh, it doesn't bother him as bad as some people, some of my friends that have it. He doesn't go through the same thing like they do,
Mhm.
but he is on a lot of medication.
Wow. Okay. Now, um, type 2 diabetes is caused the Agent Orange must have attacked his pancreas. And what
Hmm.
happens in the pancreas to get insulin is beta cells. The beta cells produce the insulin. So if
Right.
the Agent Orange killed off his beta cells enough to
Mhm.
where his body is not producing enough insulin for the diet that he's having, then this is how he will become type 2. But that is rare for someone. If it's 95% people type 2 is dietary, he
Mhm.
was an exception to being affected
Oh,
by
it's a lot of
HIV.
vets. It's a lot of vets from the Vietnam area that got diabetes from that. Yeah, it's a lot of
That
vets.
yes, and that is
Mhm.
really something, you know. So
Yeah.
I really try to educate, you know, people in their knowledge of diabetes and the knowledge of obesity. Obesity
Right.
is not the cause, it's a symptom
It's a
of
symptom
something that
because he's
is.
never been obese. He has never been obese, so he didn't. That wasn't a problem for him. It
Mhm.
was. It was just that Agent Orange. At Agent Orange. Yep.
Okay. So that's interesting because in my research about diabetes,
Mhm.
like I said, is diet related. And something else that I came across too is the ADA says that type 2 diabetes can be managed long term without meds. Who would have
Yeah.
known?
It can like my father, what the father that raised me, Alan Carr, he got diabetes in his 70s. I
Oh
mean,
my.
later on in life, and within 6 months, uh, daddy was diabetes free, and what he was doing is taking that pure vinegar, the one, what is it, got the mother thing in it. He would drink that in the morning and
Mm,
honey, and that's what brought him out of it. And the
wow.
doctors didn't understand it, but those old remedies that the older people used to use, some of them things are good. But that
Yes.
was the first time my father had ever been in the hospital when he
Wow.
got sick with that. But he was cured. He was cured. He believed every morning he would take a tablespoon of that vinegar, and then he would get him a little bit of honey behind it, and drink that coffee, and that's what he did.
Now
Yeah.
vinegar is an excellent probiotic, I want to say. I want to say that vinegar, um, what are those foods that are, um, okay, come on, let me remember. Fermented.
Okay. Yeah.
Fermented
Hmm.
food
Hmm.
are good probiotics. So therefore, if he's taking that vinegar every day, that was working good for his digestive system. It also
Right.
was helping to regulate his sugar.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, which a lot of people do not know what fiber
Hmm.
does, other than then you go to the bathroom. It helps with your
Right.
skin. It helps regulate your blood sugar,
Hmm.
and it makes you
And
feel
that's
full
true because
longer.
he had beautiful. I mean, to be an old man, he had beautiful skin. Beautiful skin. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a that's what my channel is all about. It's all about educating and re-educating people who are suffering from these diet related illnesses. And also kidney disease is the number one, diabetes is the number one cause of kidney disease.
Yeah,
Diabetes.
because they keep a watch of Jimmy's kidneys. They're always testing to see how they're looking, how they're coming. They out. Yep, you're right. You're
And
right.
it's the fourth leading cause of lower body amputation.
Mm-hmm.
And the seventh leading cause of death in America.
Wow.
38% of people are in America is undiagnosed.
Yep, I
They're
believe that. I believe
undiagnosed.
that. Are
And if
what
you do
what they
not
call it, pre-diabetic? Pre-diabetic.
pre-diabetic,
Hmm.
pre-diabetic is, well, it depends on what doctor or scale they're using. But when your A1C is at 5.4,
Right.
um, that is the sign right there for people to start doing something different about their eating. That's the
Yes.
sign right there at 5.4. And so 5.4 to that, even though that's normal, is a warning, 5.4. So
Right.
I don't understand why doctors want people to have their A1C at 7 or under 7, because 6.2, a lot of people don't even get diagnosed with diabetes until their A1C is like 6.2. And by
Wow.
then, micro and macro blood vessels are
Hmm.
being damaged. That's why you have eye problems, kidney
Right.
problems, and heart problems, because by the time you're diagnosed, the damage is already
Damage is
being
done.
done
Mhm.
by
And
the diabetes.
they keep a watch of Jimmy's eye for glaucoma. Um, and he has to take eye drops for that, but he's doing very well. He's doing very well. And every time they do the blood work, they are very pleased with his numbers because he doesn't go over 7, which is a blood. That's what they be, like you said before.
Yeah.
They be
Mhm.
watching, they'll be going over 7, and he doesn't. So, and he takes metformin 2 in the morning and 2 at night.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, we got some visitors in here today. Look at that.
Okay.
Mama
Hey,
Ray
Mama Ray
Ray
Ray, how you
in
doing,
the
sweetie?
kitchen. And we have Carter Eats.
Hey, Lisa, welcome.
Hey, Carter Eats.
Yeah.
And who else do we have in here? Let's see. We have Gloria Allen.
Hi, Gloria.
Hi,
Uh-huh.
Gloria. I hope you guys are getting um, some valuable content from the information that we are sharing with you today on diabetes or diet-related illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
recipes that can actually aid in the prevention, the cause, the reversal of these diseases. And people like Beverly Black Recipes and Keto Granny's Way
Mm-hmm.
is helping you to keep the flavor your
Amen.
meals. And y'all come on back to fat, take it off the hips, put it back on the lips. No granny's way.
Oh.
Another thing also is you you mentioned about um what was it you was mentioning about your husband,
Mm-hmm.
and you said that he's you his A1C, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking, and you said his A1C, he said, was below 7, between 6 and 7, right?
Right.
Okay. And that's where, that kind of perplexes me, because my husband's A1C was 11.
11?
He went to the doctor every 3 months. I wound up getting him to be with my doctor, so we went in
Okay.
together. Not one time did his doctor say, sir, this is what's going to happen. He would just tell him, your A1C is 11. We need to bring that down. He never told him
What?
how to bring it down. It was just like a routine visit, and I was like, wow. So again, that's why I have to educate myself about diabetes and diet related illnesses, because a lot of doctors are not educated. They only
Now,
have
Jimmy's doctor,
1%.
when he first found out, We had to take a course on what he could eat and not eat, go through that.
A lot of people, doctors will
Uh-huh.
put them in diabetic nutrition,
Right.
but the average doctor that is a practitioner, private care physician, they only have 1% lecture in nutrition.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1%.
1%?
1%.
Wow. Hmm.
So, and then too, a lot of people do not know what questions to even ask or what tests to even take. The
I
two
can see
tests that most
that.
of the
Yeah.
time they take, there's three tests that they usually take. They take
Hmm.
a glucose tolerance. They'll do a A1C, which is blood,
Right.
and they will do a um they could do a urine test.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
But the number one test that I would recommend people to take in my research
Hmm.
is the peptide test.
I
It
never heard of
tells
that.
you the C peptide test. This is what it does.
Uh-huh.
It tells you how much insulin the body is producing.
Oh, okay.
A
Okay.
lot of people don't even know how much insulin it's producing. Their pancreas is actually producing. They're just getting insulin because their sugar is high. Their
Right.
A1C is high.
Right.
They're
Right.
managing sugar, but the diabetes is still deteriorating their body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the number one test I would recommend people to ask their doctors for. A lot of people
Uh-huh.
don't do it because of insurance. It's not
Oh,
an
okay.
expensive test. And if your doctor does not want to do it, there are labs who will.
Oh,
You can
okay.
get a there are labs that will do it for you, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
really expensive. But this has been a very I am elated. I am elated.
I've
You
enjoyed it. It's been a good interview.
our pre-interview, I was so hyped, so I had
Yeah.
to, I'm a little bit low now, okay, but I thank God for you. I thank God for Mama Ray Ray Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
She is such a support to so many people. She connects
Amen. Yes, she is.
people. She encouraged people. Go here, go here, go
But she's
here.
a people person. That makes a difference. Everybody is not a people person. They cannot relate. She has the sense to know when something's not right with you.
Mhm.
Um, she has the right words to say at the right time for the right situation. And I thank God for her. I thank God for her.
I do. I
Mm-hmm.
thank God for Mama Ray Ray, and she has truly been a mentor to me. So I look at her, and I look at different content creators
Mm-hmm.
that can that are giving me valuable content. I don't just click on people because of views or it has to touch me some kind of
Touch you.
way.
Yeah.
Your
Uh-huh.
content has to be valuable to me some kind of way so that I can use it, not just
Right.
be
Right.
entertained by it.
Right.
So I thank God for you. We are at an hour and 14 minutes. We
We
have
sure are.
yes, time goes before you even know it, huh?
Yes, it does. It does.
But
I have enjoyed it.
I think we covered everything about Beverly Black that um that you shared.
Right.
Now, in our closing, what would you say to our audience, to the new content creators, to those who are having issues in their marriage, to those who have children, great grandchildren?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you can, what nuggets, if you got three nuggets, three pearls, three gems that you will give to them?
First of all, keep God first. God has to be the center of everything you do. If you seek God's face and guidance in all that you do, it will line up. Every day will not be perfect. Everything you touch will not come out perfect. And if it did, you wouldn't have a testimony. You got to have a testimony and be an example to others. As you grow older, you get wiser. You do. Things open up to you, understanding that you didn't have before. But when you pray every day, ask God to give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and discernment between good and evil as you go through that day to guide you so you can be the person that God has called you to be. It's not easy. It's not easy. And even being a content creator, God has got to be the head of your life. And if you
Yes.
don't know him, you need to know about him, to know who he is and what he can do. I mean, he has the power in his hand. We are nothing without him. And that's all I can and tell anybody is keep God first and to be consistent. For the content creators to be consistent. And when you are a mother and a grandmother, that is the most rewarding job that you can have on this earth. And it can be the hardest job that you can
Yes.
have. It's not easy being a mother, a parent, and a grandmother to lead your children by example. And
Mhm.
remember, you're not your child's best friend. We're
Right.
not we're not best friends. I'm
Right.
your mother and your grandmother. You
Right.
come to me to learn and to grow. We're not bonding, we're not partying together. We're not, girlfriends. We are mother, daughter, son, and mother, or
Right.
whatever the circumstance might be, and lead by example. Don't tell your child to do one thing and you doing another
Yes.
and
Exactly.
you doing another. It's not easy. It's not easy, but
No.
it's well worth it. It's well
Yes.
worth it.
Yes, it is. And you mentioned three things for the content creators, and I'm going to take note of that. I'm going to apply that because consistency looked like this to me. I'm showing up on Tuesday and Thursday. I
Hmm.
cannot put a time on it.
But you got the days.
So that's what consistency looked like to me. At first, consistency was like, I'm just gonna show up. But then
Yeah.
in this year that I've been researching and being up under Mama Ray Ray kitchen and looking at different content creators and whatnot, I'm learning consistency. What
Right.
consistency look like to me that I can continue to do, not what somebody else continues to do or
Right.
what somebody else
And know
does.
your niche. Know where you belong on YouTube. Don't be all over the place
Right,
because people can't follow you. They may be following you because of your knowledge about diabetes. And then you gonna jump up next week and you look out, you up there climbing a tree. You think you're a tree trimmer. No, I didn't come to your channel
right,
to learn how to limbs off trees.
right,
I came to learn more about diabetes. That's what I came for. So don't be all over the place. Don't be doing this and that and trying to find yourself. I
right.
mean, we do have to find ourselves. We have to
Yes,
know who we are.
yes,
But in that finding your place, don't be over three different things that you're trying at one time. Don't
right.
be having so much going out there that people are confused. Here,
Yeah,
look up tomorrow, you modeling clothes, you try next day, you got your wig on and different hairstyles. No, no. I mean, tone it down, let it go to about three different things until you find yourself. And when you find yourself, you see what your audience like. That's what you stay with. Like I
oh,
told you, I love flowers. I wanted
mhm,
my channel to be about flowers, but my followers didn't want the flowers. They didn't
okay,
want the flowers.
uh-huh,
They wanted me to cook. And that's what I do. I cook and I'm a motivational speaker. I don't
yes,
I don't say it all the time, but I am one because
yes,
people come to my channel to hear what I have to say. And to me, I'm just talking. I ain't saying nothing big. I'm just telling what's in my heart and my
valuable
mind.
content though. It's valuable to them.
Yeah, thank you. But to me, I'm just being me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being myself. I'm just being real. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
being the wife and the mother and the grandmother that I am. That comes out of me.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. Well, Miss Beverly Black, it's been an honor. It's been an honor.
It's been an
And
honor for me.
I pray God strengthen you, that He continue to keep His hands on you, that He continue to lead you and guide you in the way that He wants you to go, that you get your message out there to somebody who's looking for some kind of comfort, some kind of answer, and they may find
Mhm.
it in your soothing, calm voice or
Amen.
them fabulous recipes
And you
that
know
you
what?
got.
You are yeah, you're blessed. You are blessed because I don't do interviews a lot. I don't. I don't. I turn down more than I do. I don't do interviews. But like you say, that person we have in common, Mama Ray Ray, that I think highly of, and when she told me that you were a good lady and to do this interview with you, that was a nugget for me. I knew that she knew who you were and that everything would be all right.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Now we can find you where at on social media?
Beg your pardon? Say
Where
it
can we
again.
find you on social media?
I am on Instagram. I'm Beverly underscore C underscore Black on Instagram. I couldn't get my name Beverly Black. On YouTube, I'm Beverly Black. On Facebook, I'm Beverly C Black. And C is
Okay.
for my maiden name, Carr. So I'm Beverly C Black on Twitter. I'm Beverly Black, I believe. I'm on so many things. And
Right.
on Pinterest, I believe I'm Beverly Black or either Cooking with Beverly. It may be that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm on all those platforms.
Well,
And
we will
it's
find you.
and IG, oh, I told you IG, but I am back and forth and I'm learning how to use them all. And most of them I'm monetized on. I'm monetized on. I was
Okay.
monetized on a couple of them, didn't even know it was monetized.
Wow.
Didn't
Okay.
even know I was, because I put content up every day. I put something on them every day, and then I just looked and said, "You are monetized." I said, "Okay, okay."
Wow. So how many views do you have to be or subscribers do you have to be monetized? Let us know.
On YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And now they're changing the shorts that people do. Um, we are going to be able to be monetized with them, but I think it's 12 million views you have to get in 90 days. Is one of the ways to get monetized with your shorts, or 10 million or 12 million, one of them. But then you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours also with the shorts. But the shorts are changing. So keep on putting up your shorts. Used to, the shorts will bring your algorithm down on your channel, but they have fixed that now where the shorts are helping you. And you can also make shorts out of your regular videos. So people need to get into that, where a video that you have upload, you can make shorts from it. I mean, some people make 10 and 12 shorts out of one video.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's a complicated way to do, because YouTube is not telling you. When you upload your video, you got to make sure that it's checked in the back that you can take out of that video to make shorts. Then you have to go to your phone. You have to do it on your phone. How you do it? You go to your channel on your phone and you pick that where it says, I can't tell you now. It's complicated. I
That's
don't want to
okay.
tell you something wrong, so I'm not going to tell
Right.
you that. But it's a complicated way, and they need to fix that. How you bring the shorts out of your videos.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we are going to bid you adieu.
Yes,
And
you
you
have a
be
blessed day.
yes,
Blessed.
it already started good.
Now I can talk, so yes, but oh, Lord have mercy.
I heard that. I
Oh,
Mama Ray Ray, son Raylan is selling hats, and he
oh,
gave
Raylan
me
is?
this one.
Oh,
I
I
have to
like
get one with
that.
a K,
Uh-huh.
for
Go,
keto
Raylan.
granny. Huh?
I like that. I said, go, Raylan. That's a beautiful hat.
Yes. So, that might be in her merch.
Yes. She better
I'm
put it in
sporting
there.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sporting it. So we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say see you later.
See you
Not
later.
going to say
Yes. See you
goodbye.
later. Yes.
And
Yes.
I pray that I get another opportunity. I will be in your lives every time it come up. I shall be. I will let you know I'm there.
Okay. I would appreciate it. You
Okay,
be
so
blessed, my friend.
I am.
My
Thank
light
you.
keep going out. It's letting me know it's time to quit.
Yeah, it's time. Okay,
Okay.
Miss Beverly. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Now, let me leave you guys with this. Knowledge is only powerful when you apply it, and change will only happen when changes happen. Y'all come on back to fat. Take it off your hips and put it back on your lips. That's keto granny swag. Also, self-love yourself first so that you can give the love to those who depend on you to love them. Self-love you first and pass it on. Until next time, let's talk about it. You got a story you want to talk about? Come on over to Keto Granny's Way. Let's talk about a segment. Everybody got a story, and Keto Granny's Way want to hear it. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.